Are you tired of getting car advice from dude bros? You know, the ones who say things like, straight pipe your car, bro. Get a turbo kit, bro. Install NOS, bro. I'm tired of them too. That's why today, we're talking about the top 5 modifications for any car that offer the best price to performance value. So what does it mean to be faster, like it says in the title of this video? We'll be looking at modifications that improve your car's lap time around a track or autocross circuit. We'll be scoring each mod across the categories of price, ease of installation, practicality, and their overall effect on the car, and then ranking them based on their average score. Oh, and we'll be doing all of this without a single mention of cold air intakes. First, a quick note about pricing. For all of the price ranges in this video, we'll be comparing parts across 2 very different sports cars to try to give you a wide price range that parts for your particular car should fall into. On the low end, we'll be using a 1999 Miata, a smaller, older sports car, which tends to have relatively cheap aftermarket parts. On the high end, we'll be using a 2012 base model Corvette. Not an expensive car by any means, but it's larger and newer, so parts usually cost a good bit more compared to the Mazda. It might sound stupid, but weight reduction is a really effective way to shave some tenths off your lap time. Removing things like carpeting, sound deadening, interior panels, and back seats that you don't use can drop your car's weight by up to a few hundred pounds. Don't believe me? Watch Chris Fix's video where he removes 430 pounds of stuff off of his BMW. Starting off with the price category, this mod scores all 5 out of 5 points possible because it's free. Removing things from a car doesn't take too much mechanical skill either, especially if you don't care about breaking things, so it scores a 3 in our ease of installation, or in this case, uninstallation category. So where's the downside? Let's move on to practicality. If you go full bore and remove creature comforts like AC in your stereo, in addition to sound deadening and interior panels, you can quickly turn a car from a comfortable cruising machine to an insufferable tin can. Assuming you probably drive your car regularly on the street, weight reduction scores a 1 in this category. While the performance gains can be measured with a stopwatch, unless you go crazy and remove anything from your car possible, it's unlikely you'll notice much difference in driving feel, giving this mod a score of 2 for its effect on the car. This leaves weight reduction in 5th place, with an average score of 2.75 points. Potentially to your surprise, coilovers aren't higher on this list and come in at 4th place. Despite noticeably improving handling and scoring a 5 for their effect on the car, that handling gain only comes if you buy a quality setup, which can be out of a lot of people's budget. Here's a comparison between 4 different options, one cheaper option and one more expensive option for both the Miata and the Corvette. Averaging the cheaper options with each other and the expensive options with each other, we get an average price range of about $1,300 to $2,700. Because that's more than any other mod on this list, coilovers score a 1 in the price category. Now before you say, oh, I'll just go get a $300 set from eBay.
Stop it. Get some help.
Cheap coilovers are made with junk materials and poor manufacturing tolerances, making them more likely to fail by either blowing out a seal or just straight up breaking. If that isn't bad enough, 9 times out of 10, they'll reduce your car's handling performance over stock suspension and can make you feel like you're driving around on a really bouncy trampoline. Good quality coilovers will have ride height adjustment to allow for a proper alignment and good suspension geometry. They can also have adjustment for compression, rebound, or both to even further fine-tune your car's handling. Set all of this up correctly, and you end up with a good compromise between a comfortable street car and a capable corner carver, giving coilovers a practicality score of 3. Coilovers aren't hard to install, but they aren't the easiest item on this list, so they also score a 3 in the installation category, bringing the overall average score for coilovers to a 3. Coming in 3rd place on this list is yet another handling modification. Properly sized sway bars can bring balance to a car that oversteers or understeers, in addition to improving overall grip. I already made an entire video about how sway bars improve your car and how to install them, so we'll just focus on them in the context of this top 5 list. Pulling up options for the Miata and the Corvette and calculating our average price range the same way as before, sway bars are the 3rd cheapest part on this list, so they score 3 points in the price category. They're similar to coilovers in terms of installation difficulty, and also end up with a slight compromise between comfort and handling. This scores them 3s in both the installation and practicality categories. While they definitely produce a noticeable handling difference, it won't be quite as dramatic as a good set of coilovers, giving them a score of 4 for their effect on the car. Performance aside, their clear price advantage keeps sway bars ahead in 3rd place with an overall average score of 3.25. It's easy to forget that going fast around a track also means slowing down fast, which is why brake pads are in 2nd place on this list. A good set of brake pads is an underrated mod which should be straightforward for anyone with some basic tools and a little bit of patience to install. This scores them 4 points in the installation category. Even though weight reduction took the prize for cheapest mod on a technicality, brake pads are the cheapest part you can buy on this list, with a streetable set of performance pads setting you back around $180 to $200. Despite the cons of wearing your rotors slightly faster, leaving more brake dust on your wheels, and being noisier than stock pads, performance brake pads score a 4 for practicality, since they also improve your car's safety on the road. You'll be able to stop in a shorter distance the next time a wild animal or distracted soccer mom cuts you off. Just how much shorter you'll be able to stop greatly depends on your car and the pads, which gives this mod a score of 3 in the effect on car category, giving it an average overall score of 3.75 points. It should be obvious why tires are the number 1 mod on this list, but in case it isn't, here's why. No performance modification will make any positive difference whatsoever if you have garbage tires. Why spend thousands on a turbo kit if your car doesn't have the traction to put down the power? Why buy coilovers and sway bars if the tires you have just want to understeer into a guardrail? With how many options there are, tires could warrant their own video, but here's the basics. All tires are rated with a UTQG tread wear rating, which signifies how fast they'll wear. Generally speaking, a lower number means the tire is softer and will wear faster, but in turn will provide more grip. For example, a typical all-season tire might have a tread wear rating of 700, whereas a performance summer tire will have a tread wear rating of around 200. Make sure you buy tires that are suited for the weather and conditions you normally drive in, but for the price to performance factor, we're going to focus on Performance 200 treadwear tires for this list. Tires only score 2 points in the price category, since they're the 2nd most expensive item on the list, but they more than make up for their price when it comes to the performance category. Scoring all 5 points, a good set of tires will improve the braking and cornering ability of any car, as well as acceleration if your car has a lot of power on tap. They also score a 5 in the ease of installation category, being that most people will only need to bring their car to a tire shop and wait. Finally, if you choose the right set of tires for your car and the conditions, they can still be driven on the street very practically, the only con being that they'll wear out faster than a set of stock tires. This scores tires 4 points in the practicality category, solidifying their number 1 spot on this list with an overall average score of 4 points. Hopefully this video offered you some insight into your next car modification, and if you're a dude bro like we met in the intro, maybe I've changed your mind as to how you think about modifying a car. Do you agree with this list? Drop a comment with any thoughts you have, and don't forget to subscribe.